the global trading of gas and energy and oil is a huge thing.
It is a really big deal, isn't it? I mean, the current super low price of oil and petrol is, most people would tell you, driven by Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Depressing the price of oil in order to break the US fracking industry.
Right. Yeah.
As an environmentalist, I'm not unhappy about the outcome they're seeking.
Yeah. That's kind of a good goal there.
Yeah. But of course, they're doing it for their own purposes. Once they've done that, they put the price back up and that kind of stuff. But you're right. I mean, it's a big racket. And just to touch on another point you made there, what if we all became energy independent? I do think that the idea of globalisation has gone too far. The idea that we need to be buying things from the other side of the world and in effect exporting responsibility as well as jobs to other countries. Most of it, I think, was driven by an economic imperative that people in the developing world were just paid so little that we could get this stuff so much cheaper, and that helped our standard of living, which I think is an awful reason for doing it.
Yeah.
But, I believe in creating jobs here in Britain, taking responsibility for the things that we want and need and to make them here, and energy included in all of that. I think globalisation is a bad concept.
Yeah.
Actually. I'm not an isolationist. I want to be a part of the world, but I think we all should be taking responsibility as far as we possibly can for what we need as a country.
Again, completely. I think there's a very wide an idea I support greatly. I love the idea of individual sustainability. I love nothing more than the idea of living in a hut somewhere and being able to provide everything for myself. Yeah. So if we can see that would kind of be the best, but there's millions of people who wouldn't want anything to do with that. Yeah. Then the idea of building a structure in our country where we can sustain ourselves, but that energy be provided, not having to go out and start your own fires and everything else. Actually, living the lives that we live now, but with that, individual sustainability.
Yeah, definitely. And I think technology is a big role to play. We can't all be lighting individual fires and stuff like that, for example. But the smart grid is a really important part of what's coming. The Internet of Things is kind of linked to that. And, for me, it's just about the nonsensicalness, if I can use that as a term, of this, this approach to globalisation, which says, well, look, we'll just buy this stuff from China because it's cheaper, and the cheapness of fossil fuels enables that to happen. All of this is a terrible environmental impact as well as social impact. When we should be making things here, the things that we want, and employing people here rather than throwing them on the dole and employing people in a sweatshop somewhere else. I just think that's irresponsible. But that's driven by the worst forms of capitalism. The ones just look at the bottom line, don't.
This piece of fiction is the intro to distraction.